Welcome, everyone. Today we're looking at the blog post. Do cemeteries offer specific cremation gardens or columbariums?
Hmm.
This is a really interesting topic, especially with cremation becoming so much more common.
Absolutely.
Cemeteries are having to adapt, aren't they? We're going to explore what these newer options might mean for you if you're sort of looking into ways to memorialize loved ones.
It's a really important discussion to have. And this article, it focuses on two uh, quite distinct options you often find now: cremation gardens and columbariums.
Right.
Understanding what each involves it really helps families make a choice that feels right for them, especially during a difficult time.
Okay, so let's start with the cremation garden idea. I was quite drawn to that description in the article. What exactly are they talking about?
Well, the piece describes them as outdoor spaces, specifically designed for interring or sometimes scattering cremated remains.
Okay.
Think serene, natural landscapes, maybe with pathways, benches, sometimes even water features. They're aiming for a really tranquil feel.
So a space that feels, very connected to nature, peaceful.
Right. Exactly.
And how does memorialization work within these gardens? Does the article touch on that?
It does. It mentions that some places allow for, small markers or plaques, maybe set discreetly in the landscape,
Uh-huh.
while others might have more communal areas where ashes are scattered together, perhaps with a central memorial feature.
I see.
The source really suggests they're a good fit for someone who loved the outdoors, someone who'd appreciate that kind of peaceful, natural setting as a final resting place.
That makes a lot of sense. Sounds lovely, actually.
Mm.
But then, shifting gears a bit, the article also discusses columbariums. How are these different?
Right, the columbarium, it's described quite differently. It's a structure,
Uh,
purpose-built to house urns that contain cremated remains.
a structure. Okay, so not the open garden feel.
No, exactly. These can be indoor structures or sometimes outdoor ones, and they feature what are called niches.
Niche.
Yeah, small, individual compartments where an urn is placed.
Ah, okay. So a more architectural approach, maybe a bit more traditional in a way, but for cremation.
Precisely.
Mm.
And each niche usually has space for a plaque or some engraving, the person's name, dates, maybe a short inscription.
Right.
So the article positions columbariums as a more, let's say, structured and permanent memorial option, popular for families who really want that specific, dedicated spot to visit and remember.
Okay, so two quite different feelings, the garden and the structure, but what about the benefits? Does the article highlight any common advantages to both?
Yes, it does. What's interesting is that both, despite their differences, are presented as providing peaceful, respectful environments.
Mm,
And crucially, they both offer a permanent place for memorialization, a spot for family and friends to return to.
that seems key. Permanence.
Definitely. And the source also points out that customization, like with plaques or engravings, is usually possible in both settings.
Yeah.
Allows for that personal touch.
And I imagine there might be practical considerations too.
Oh, absolutely. A big one mentioned in the article is cost and space. It states that these options, the gardens and columbariums, are often more affordable than traditional burial plots, and they're more space efficient, which is becoming a bigger factor for many cemeteries.
That's a really important point for people considering options. Less expensive and uses less land.
Exactly.
So pulling this together, if someone is trying to decide between them, what's the main advice from the article?
It really comes down to personal preference
Yeah.
and reflecting the personality of the loved one.
Okay.
The advice is pretty clear. Think about what feels right for your family. Did the person love being outdoors? Maybe the garden is a better fit.
Right.
Or is a more defined, perhaps easily accessible, structured memorial preferred? Then a columbarium might be the way to go. It's about matching the memorial to the person.
And what about practical next steps for listeners who might be thinking about this now?
The suggestion is quite practical. Visit local cemeteries, see what they actually offer, walk around the spaces if you can,
Good idea.
and ask questions. Find out about their specific policies, the costs, what level of customization is possible. It's really about taking the time needed to choose the right setting, to create a tribute that feels meaningful and lasting.
It's definitely clear that cemeteries have really evolved. They're offering much more thoughtful and varied ways to remember people now. The options seem far broader than maybe many of us realize.
Indeed, they are. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? It poses an interesting question for you listening. How might the kind of memorial space you choose reflect not just the life lived, but also the kind of connection and comfort you're seeking in remembrance moving forward? We'll be back next time with another thought-provoking exploration of a topic that matters.